so let's get into it, man. Kind of starting on a tragic note, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, because I read the details, but I know we all might have seen different or heard different. But from what I seen, there was a dude who was pretty much a maniac, psycho, who said he was having like sexual frustrations or something to that degree, which caused him to go into like 3 different spas and pretty much have like a mass shooting. To where majority Asians were killed, and it started like I guess like a uprising of of highlighting Asian hate in America, particularly since this pandemic began. With the Trump comments and just the way comments people have been making about Asians, or so on and so forth. So I'm gonna just say what my thoughts are and get it out the way, so it don't be like misconstrued. Basically, where I stand on this is like I understand there are some Asians that have like stood with us through the Black Lives Matter movement and so on and so forth, but I've also seen a lot of hate, a lot of disgusting messages regarding Asian people, towards blacks. Particularly, I can give you an example of, I don't know if y'all remember the Ty Lawson situation, where he had I guess he was getting like a lap dance from a stripper in China, and if I'm not mistaken, he got banned from like the whole country because of that. And you can probably go in his Instagram comments right now if the post is still there, but I probably seen the word nigger about 50 times, and people telling him like, go back to eating your bananas and so on and so forth. Right. So it really is rubbing me like the wrong way and a little bit disgusting to me to see like how many black people are like rallying around them right now regarding this. This might make me a bad guy or whatever, but I'm about my people first and foremost before anything. And we got 101 things that we need to take care of in our community first, let alone the oppression that we got to deal with on top of that. So I don't know how we're like trying to like. It just seems like over time of history, like down to the civil rights movement. Anytime we fight for something or anytime we get some sort of liberation, there's somebody else right there next to us who didn't put in that work and fight with us that gets to reap the benefits of it. And it just seems like history repeating itself once again, which is why I've just like decided to stay out of it and not say nothing. I feel for the families involved with it, but it's just not something I'm about to rally behind as if I would, with my people. And I'll leave it at that. And D, I'll let you take it from there, because I've seen you had comments about it as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. So my whole perspective on that whole situation, or just the subject in general concerning like black people and the Asian community, is that we all got the same enemy at the end of the day, which is white supremacy. And I feel that the man that was responsible for the massacre was acting off the principles of white supremacy. He was motivated by white supremacy, things like that. All right. So just from what I'm saying, of course, I'm pro-black all day, 100%. And I am, my black people first. But when it comes to the Asian community and their struggle, my perspective is we should support them, just because, well, number one, and I see this a lot too, when we refer to the Asian community, I understand it's a very stratified community. It's not just simply Chinese people or Japanese people or Korean people. It encompasses a great deal of different countries, and they all have different like sensibilities, even though we may think they look the same. They know how different they are from each other, right? Yeah. And then there's Asian people in Jamaica, like it's crazy, but and they all have and as different as each one of them are, they come from even different demographics within those countries. So you may have like a Japanese person, one may be from the hood. They might be might be from the hood, and you might have some in a more white affluent neighborhood. Right. But my point is, when we see somebody facing a similar struggle that we're facing, I feel like it's advantageous to link arms with those within that group that have shown that they're willing to support us, because they're on their end, they're supporting black people, but I know they're also getting it from their people as well. Like, why are you supporting black people It's about us. So when they're going through their struggle, I believe it's proper to show that we're still on sides with them because they're already getting it from their people on our behalf. So we should just show them like, hey, we got you in your time of need for those of you who, who care. For those of you who care. So the psychology I feel is being implemented is just, one, we're solidifying ourselves with those who have already shown that they're our allies. And then the other ones who are part of, I guess, whatever Asian community who haven't come around, they can simply see that we're willing to, cross those lines on their behalf, and it might endear them over to our struggle as well. But I don't think having the philosophy of it's us and y'all and then, white supremacy, I don't think it's all the way proper. And granted, I do know black people got a lot of stuff that they dealing with. So I'm not saying, we give up things that we really don't have to give or that we can't afford to give. But I'm just saying, at the very least, if we can be just vocal about it and speak up on their behalf, just say, hey, this is a white supremacy issue and they're over here with us because we're dealing with white supremacy. So this is white supremacy. This is black people. This is Asian. We all dealing with white supremacy. So just from that narrative and that perspective, we can overcome.
But what about the ones that show the same hatred towards us as those white supremacists that you're speaking of?
I honestly, not to cut you off, but I feel like, is we really categorize, because so that was one person that shot up the Asian, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We when one thing happened, we kind of try to blame, like, okay, well, so it was a white dude that did it?
It was a white dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I got white friends too, you know what I'm saying? And I already know all the history and all this shit to go do. I be trying to coach them all day long on this shit.
Right.
But I do feel for, like, when shit happen, like, if I was to, me personally, was to go and I'm mad over whatever going on in my life, and I go to the gym, right, and I just start chipping off everybody and shit, and predominantly everybody might be white, or maybe it just might be a lot of white people there, or just all white people there, you know what I'm saying? And maybe I did even personally wanted to target the area where I feel like it was white people, you know what I'm saying? But that's me individually. I don't feel like y'all should be to blame as a race, like, because 2G felt like, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes, and don't get me wrong, like when the dude went to the churches and killed the black people, and don't get me wrong, this dude might have had a real hate for Asians. I don't know the evidence behind all that. Right. But I'm saying we always blame the whole race after one person fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like we a whole basketball team or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we all going to the championship together. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, because of how we was so fucked up, bro, we can't come up like these other races. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we can't all stick together on a topic or something. It's not going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, a situation like this, when when a white dude go shoot up the Asian, that's not our business. That's not my business, you know what I'm saying? And I do feel sorry for them, like, I'm a dude with the water. If I could donate some water, man, you know what I'm saying? I can try to help, you know what I'm saying? But me getting sorry for it and trying to rally up for it, we have other situations as blacks, that we gotta handle. Right. That I can't rally for that is hard, you know what I'm saying? And then even with my situations with my black people, I can't even rally for some of that as hard, you know what I'm saying? Because some of those situations be fucked up. Right. So it go deeper down than a black, white, color thing. It's where everybody mind at and who all, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you got the Black Panther Party in them, you know what I'm saying? Some people might want to rally with their beliefs, you know what I'm saying? But then you got people who don't Believe on that Black Panther type party shit and want to rally for their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So you got to dig down and pick who is best for you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because if you rallying and you pushing for these, not to say these, but you pushing for Asian beliefs, you know what I'm saying? But it's not benefiting when you go home with your family. Right. It's not making sense at all. You know what I'm saying? So you can feel sorrow, but them. Y'all saying the blacks rallied up and we making a big deal and whatever the case may be.
No, not me. I was just saying for the most part, like, I've seen it.
A good majority though is, you know what I'm saying? They
like the Damian Lillard.
I feel LeBron, personally they got they priorities a little twisted. You know, I don't know them personally, but Their priorities might be a little bit twisted because you can't rally for every race, and then even when it comes down to your race, you can't rally for every situation. You know what I'm saying? You got to rally for the things that's affecting you when you go home at night. You know, and I don't know how too much black people is getting affected because all the Asians got shot up. You know what I'm saying? That's something that within the Asian community and the white community gotta, you know what I'm saying, kind of rectify. You know what I'm saying? Right. Us getting involved in that's sticking our nose in it, and not just blacks, human races as a whole got a problem with sticking their nose in too much shit that ain't got nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Just wanting to be involved. You know, like, and that's just. Yeah, you know.
Like basically being educated on what you're getting yourself into.
Just be a little bit more educated. You know, it's cool to be an activist, but if are you an activist because of shootings? Are you an activist, or are you just a person that's just trying to every time something big, massive pop off? You know what I'm saying? You trying to point the finger like, oh, that's a white problem. That's a black. No, you know what I'm saying? We all have problems. Blacks, whites, Mexicans, Asians. Everybody got problems, you know what I'm saying? I can sit in a room with white people that I can vibe with, you know what I'm saying? That I can feel like I can have a future with, but I didn't sit down with white people who I still got a coach on racism, you know what I'm saying? Like, so everybody got problems. We got to learn how to stop categorizing shit by race and start categorizing shit by individual people. You know what I'm saying? And their own characters, you know what I'm saying? And who these people are, you know what I'm saying? Because that person, parents, you feel me, might have been trying to coach that kid the right way, you feel me? And he just went south, you feel me? Just like some parents in our community try to get us to go to college and shit, but we gangbang, you feel me? It's, you know what I'm saying? We got to start looking at people individually and start, you know, that race categorizing, that's deep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting. A lot of people probably disagree with the fact that I'm not so bold, but first of all, I don't talk about a lot. Like, I don't rally for much. I try not to because, one, I wait for this platform if it's back in the circuit, and ultimately, what difference does my opinion make? Honestly speaking, motherfuckers don't give a fuck about what I think about major issues. They're going to, one, form their own opinions, two, follow the blogs, three, follow the news, whatever. They're not worried about my little ass opinion. What do I mean and what I think about this one situation that is way bigger than anything related to anything going on with me? Right. Why would they even care? So I don't even put myself out there to not even feel some type of way, but just why exert the effort? That's how I feel when it comes to speaking on a lot of things. Like, I understand that it has to be done in a lot of situations, even within our community, with the Black Lives Matter protests and all that. I do have extenuating circumstances with different reasons why not to be in the forefront, in the front lines of everything. I cannot do that for my circumstance. That's okay. And I understand that it's necessary. I also understand that's not my fight, and I am not equipped, nor am I going to spend my life fighting a fight that, one, I can't fix. Not saying that I can't play a part in fixing, but I'm not going to be Captain Save-A-Ho for full-blown societal and conditioning issues that goes on in America because I'm trying to keep myself sane around everything that goes on with my personal life and my family and whatever it may be. Now, some people would not like that considering I am technically Asian. Like D said, Asia encompasses everything. People forget India is in Asia. I am Asian technically. So, I should, in some views, lenses, I should be. But like we said, I'm not going to. I understand where 2G's coming from as far as people generalizing and putting all the problems on the backs of one group of people. Unfortunately, to go against that a little bit, white people have a tendency to not only be mass shooters. Not saying white people have the tendency to be mass shooters. Let me reframe that. The mass shooters that come up typically happen to be white. That's what I'm trying to say. We have seen
DNA thing,
but we've also seen time and time again that when they mention white supremacy, I feel like they're more so saying there's that privilege of they know that they can do whatever the fuck they want with no repercussion. They know they're gonna get a slap on the wrist. They know that whatever the case may be, they won't get killed the moment they're seen. Even you can liken that to the storming of the Capitol. Come on now.
Right.
Come on. I have no sympathy for anybody hurt, died, or anything because when it comes down to it, black people never would have had the chance to touch the lawn. Period. We would have been shot down before we got to touch the lawn or the curb or the steps, let alone scale the fucking building. Let alone interrupt Senate meetings. Let alone infiltrate and steal and loot. Like, come on now. They got nothing.
But will we, and that's not the topic, but will we have did that? Because they did that. You know what I'm saying? So they sacrificed a life. You know what I'm saying? And they felt like that's what it took. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes, and I ain't saying motherfuckers gotta go out there and just start sacrificing their life, but shit.
No, but it wasn't.
It's
for
a
the
lot
right
of
reason.
hood niggas sacrificing their life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
think about it. It wasn't for the right reason.
It wasn't. You know,
That's
you gotta channel it for the right reason.
It's not for the right reason. It'd be different if it was a real life revolution or something. Y'all mad because
they was doing shit
because y'all not having the person that's able to justify your thought process, justify the fact that you can be so hateful towards everything and everybody, justify your blatant racism. That's it. That's the case. For me, it's like it's hard because black people, like you said, we have done it. Have we ever had the chance? No, we would never think to do it because we have been conditioned to know that we can't even walk the streets without getting our necks stepped on and killed for less. Not even less than less. Right. We get killed for existing. So hell yeah, we would never think about it. Why would we?
I mean,
we had no chance.
During any riot that we've had from '92 to the one we had last year. Even with the riots, when we started, like, they was letting us tear up our own communities, but when we started getting towards, like, West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, we couldn't even get over there, let alone some damn capital. They wouldn't even let us get in the cities that they're predominant in.
They're okay, very much so okay with us.
That's because, you know what? That's because, and I feel y'all, everything y'all saying, but we got the wrong people doing it. We got the niggas with the guns and that's about that life. Ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying?
And
the motherfuckers like us.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be the motherfuckers that's about that life.
The energy just gotta
you know
divert.
What I'm saying? Like, if we want to go, for a reason. They gotta be them motherfuckers that's about that life, and you know they got their mind distracted on their own personal agendas. You know what I'm saying? So our system and our community, it might not, and I ain't gonna say ever, but it's gonna be a different program than how they could like you say, because they have that. We can get away with this mind state.
But let me get back to that. Because let me get back to that point. Because I was also saying that I understand where you're coming from, but playing the devil's advocate, like I said, we in America, whether it's Americans or white people or minorities, we've been conditioned to see how these type of situations play out. Mm-hmm. There is little to no repercussion. If cops can get away for a lot of things, this man's gonna be able to, and every other mass shooter has been able to. Mm-hmm. Any mass shooter that has been white is still fucking alive. Mm-hmm. Prison or not, they're still fucking alive.
It goes to like why they killed Tamir Rice.
Thank you.
Playing with a gun, but
it goes down to
Dylan Roof a burger once they.
Thank you. Yeah. Like you escorting somebody who literally just killed a whole bunch of people, and you gonna escort this nigga for a meal? Seriously? Mm-hmm. He's able to have meals when black people get their teeth kicked out.
I mean, even with this dude, like the terms they've been using, trouble, disturbed, like.
They changed the language, but we see that in media. We see that in news. We see that in media. We see how the narrative is, what language is used to paint which narrative.
I feel like that should be staged too sometimes.
Sometimes. I can't knock that.
That's open a whole different.
Right.
And that's still living with the white supremacist shit because we damn near sure ain't staging this shit our damn self. But
that's a whole different.
We can't even say that though because Jussie Smollett.
It's deep. It's a lot of money going into a lot of shit. A lot of money going into a lot of shit.
And once we start having those conversations,
and rich motherfuckers get bored with their money, get the paying for weird shit. You feel me? What I'm saying? Motherfuckers with money get the paying for weird shit, get the paying for keep controversy going.
To answer your question, about why we should support the Asian people, even though there's people in our community that don't support us. It's just
not that don't support us, that are like flat out disgusting racist towards us.
Yeah, got you.
Don't downplay it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They literally infiltrate our communities with their businesses.
No, that's
been doing this for decades. It's like, what the hell is we standing with them for?
When I'm saying standing with them, like, don't get it twisted. I ain't saying like pick up a gun and go shoot up anybody because it don't even recall for that. What I'm saying is vocalize support over the internet, which is it doesn't take anything for you to do that. Now, what I am saying is the reason why we should do it is because there are people in that community that legitimately support us. That legitimately,
I'm personally friends with a couple that do.
So this is why we should voice, because I got hella Asian friends. This is why we should voice our support for them in times like this, because we do have Asian friends. Because even though we might not realize it, there might be young Asian children on the internet looking at black platforms and seeing what their sentiment is against their people in their time of need, and just I can't really we can't really quantify the effect that consideration for a person in their time of need will have on them in the long run. So I'll use the example of a child on Instagram going to a black person's profile and seeing, oh, these black people are, posting hashtag stop Asian hate, I'm Asian. That makes me have an affinity towards black people now. So as I grow and make decisions and make decisions that may influence black people and may influence my own people against black people, I'll have that thought in mind, that type of stuff.
So what about all the dead bodies they stepped over in the 60s when they was able to get more rights in America?
I mean, we can go back and forth about this and this.
I'm not saying I'm against them. I'm just saying
we can go back.
Our
and forth
energy
about
needs
it.
to be towards.
Nah, it can't be matched by energy, because it's like we are all under the same sickness. And I try to make a point to say white supremacy instead of saying white people, because even as black people, we're under the sickness of white supremacy, which is white life matters, and black life or any life that's not white doesn't. So Asian people, yeah, they're under the same sickness of white supremacy, but I'm saying, like, we can't go off of all of the negative stuff and totally disregard our allies. Even when it comes to other white people, we can't disregard our allies on the white side. It's just, if you have allies on that side, you got to come through for them. Even if the majority of them aren't on your side, you still got to support the people that have supported you.
And I still do want to give my point of view, because I was just counterclaiming some of the things Tucci was saying. I wasn't done. But when it comes down to it, as far as me, I feel like I'd be almost hypocritical to post something about stopping Asian hate.
Yeah,
I mean, no, but listen, what? I didn't post much. I shared certain things for our community during our riots and stuff, but I didn't rally that hard. I didn't, because I understood that I could not, like, I literally cannot. Like, there's openly snuff films, like, certain things I don't let bother me or get in my space of worry. But when it comes down to it, I can call a spade a spade. There's full-blown snuff films on the internet, like the surface internet being shown on the news, all sorts of stuff. Now, I agree with what Dee's saying about supporting people. I agree with having allies and doing something for your allies. I'm not against that. I just don't think it's right for me to do it. I don't think that's my space and my place right now, or in general. And I'm not saying I won't share something or two, but I'm not going to make a full-blown paragraph, and I can't be in the streets protesting. And I'm not going to do that, because I still got stuff to work on for rallying for my own community.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, I don't knock anybody. I think it's a human problem. Obviously, it's America problem. It's a white supremacy problem, but it's a human race problem with how people are viewing each other. Even with the language change, I can play the devil's advocate and say, well, for some people and shooters, mass shooters and others alike, mental health's real. So I can't discredit that. I'm not saying nothing's right. I'm not saying there couldn't have been intervention.
I'm not tagging out with that nigga though.
But with white people as well, that can be looked at as like, damn, I mean, mental health's a thing, but let's not forget y'all have the accessibility. It's normalized. It's okay for you guys to get therapy. I feel like the racism
is the mental health issue that they got.
I mean, that feeds into it, but there's plenty of others. Like, brain chemistry is a very delicate thing that is very diverse and intricate. So I don't think that conditioning doesn't play a part, or racism plays a part, which it does.
I just wouldn't give them the same benefit of the doubt that we don't get for less.
And I understand that.
It could be both.
But I can just see both sides of that.
I mean, to be honest, I think we all like in the same direction. We just going about it in different ways. It's just a matter of what your bottom line is.
We all saying we don't give a fuck in a way.
In a way, well, I don't think that's what we're
all saying. Like we got compassion for what's happened, but it ain't directing, like I said, it ain't affecting us going.
It's not directing my bottom line.
I also do want to say though,
people, so.
Cause Suji, you mentioned like how does that affect the black community? It's funny because I was watching some of the videos and stuff just to kind of touch up on certain topics, and technically it does affect us because it affects how we're supporting them, though. It affects their services and what they can do for us. Because some lady she was really adamant, like, I'm really sad. Like, I love going there to give really great massages. Like, they give the best massages. Like, it's just sad. They give the best massage. And I'm just like, yeah, they can no longer do certain services for you.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, too. Technically, we are affected, but not in the right ways. Selfishly. But I mean, calling
what makes them give the best massages? Because I feel like
shit.
And we ain't gonna call. Different. That's next topic. Because I just feel like I just feel like
nah, I get
we can do it all.
I get where you're going.
Nah, but I hear you though. I really hear what you're saying.
I really get
some
where
good
you're going.
shit. You say some good shit, real shit.
And you made some. I mean, I think we all made very valid points.
Was there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. Nah, I'm just saying like like I said, I'm Nation of Islam, so I got Asian people in Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. My perspective is they, whenever it's a black issue, of course they ride now because they get Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. So how I feel is like I can't look at y'all in the face and be like, y'all my brother, y'all my sister, and not support them in the state time because they got Asian people in their family.
But I got a white best friend that I would probably like damn near take a bullet for. I've been knowing since, like, when I say since the day I was born, I literally mean like since the day I was born. I've been knowing since I was like 3 months old. He lives in Wyoming right now, as white can be. And I consider that my brother. And you hear some of the things I say when I generalize white people in general. And I feel like if it's somebody who really loves you and really cares for you as a black man, they should be understanding your perspective of where you're coming from. We have a disgusting history, so sometimes it's gonna rebuttal in that way. Sometimes I do believe in the fighting fire with fire. I'm not loving my oppressor. So I'm not a person that walks around and just like anybody that's not black, I hate you or I don't F with you. But for the generalization of it, of what my bottom line is, this is who I'm standing with. And anybody who really loves me and does really care for me the way I do, they'll understand that. And if not, F them anyway. Like I said, I'm for my people first. And that's something I'm willing to sacrifice whatever relationships come with that because it's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where we differ because it's like I said, I'm pro-black all day, but it's like what I see as white supremacy is not gonna be an issue because especially here in America, it's not an issue that just black people are going to be able to tackle and get over ourselves. It's going to be like a multicultural thing,
right?
And when I say white supremacy, I know because the term white is in it. That's half of it, but the other half of it is classism. Mm-hmm. So really, when I say white supremacy, I'm really talking about like rich white people in power, and that still. And so from that lens, we also have to involve. I guess white people of a lower economic class, right, who also have a very detailed understanding of like the power dynamic. Mm-hmm. So if there ever comes a time where rich white people are going against poor white people for whatever reason, that would be an opportunity for us as black people, brown people, yellow people, whoever else, to connect with those white people and like we're pretty much how the Black Panthers were doing with their Rainbow Coalition, which is like, look, we're all being targeted by this systemic system right here, right, and they have the power, but we have the numbers, which is our power, which actually overcomes whatever power they have over us. So if we link up and we all get on the same page and we can show that we're all on the same page against this overall oppressor, then we have an opportunity to overthrow it. But and I feel like this is how the system works. If I feel like, okay, I'm over here and it's just us, and we're over here and it's just us, and we're over here and it's just us, and we fighting against each other, then the system has a higher chance of maintaining its position of power over us, as opposed if we all combine and then say, all right, we're trying to overthrow the system.